Today I'm reviewing Aerodrums. What's up guys, Justin Greenwald here. Welcome to 65 Drums. This is the place to keep on top of all things E-drum related, so subscribe if you haven't already. Today I'm doing a review of Aerodrums. Aerodrums is basically a way for you to play air drums, just wave your sticks around in midair and actually get sound out of it. We've all done this before. We've just had that drum fever. There wasn't a drum set anywhere nearby, so we just were like playing in midair. It never got the respect that air guitar got, unfortunately. A company actually went out and made a way for you to trigger MIDI by having a camera track how you're pointing the sticks in 3D space. This is a one-of-a-kind product. I've never seen anything like this. So I was really interested when Aerodrums contacted me and wanted to give me a review product. I've been playing with it for a while and here are my thoughts. Depending on where you buy this thing, it probably doesn't come with a camera. It utilizes a PS3 camera, just like this. It's shooting at 125 frames per second. That way it can catch you even when you're doing really fast drum rolls. It can still catch all of those notes. And then you also have a light that you attach to the front of this camera. Actually is made to slide right on top of the PlayStation 3 camera. A lot of times you'll have to buy this camera separately again, but it's not very expensive. I've seen it for $8 on Amazon. This is a reflective surface. The camera sees this and the software interprets this reflection as like a heat map. Because this whole thing works on light and like reflection, that means you can't have lights behind you. It's not a really big deal. You can't play outdoors and you can't play if you're sitting in front of a light. The lights, there can be tons of lights, but they just have to be sitting like in front of you. Also, the weird thing about having the light on the camera is they actually include sunglasses for you. It's really interesting. They look like movie theater 3D glasses. They're made of cardboard and stuff. I've read some other reviews on this before I made this video, and there was one guy that said if you play with this too long, it gives you a headache. I haven't experienced that because when I film this, I've got a light there, right there. They're both pointing at my face. I'm used to bright light. So this does not bother me, and I do not wear this while I'm playing Aerodrums, but maybe someone out there will need to use sunglasses, just an FYI. I thought it was funny that they included cardboard sunglasses. It looks a little interesting. And there's also a couple of replacement reflective balls inside of the package as well, in case one of these flies off and it gets lost. You have a couple of replacements. And then you also get these little reflector things right here. These strap onto your feet. It's very precise, actually. It can really tell how open and closed your hi-hat is by the tilt that naturally happens when you raise your foot with this thing. So this whole setup ends up being a little interesting to look at. It looks a little weird because you're sitting alone in a room with a bright light shining at you and you're like drumming on nothing and you're probably listening to headphones at the same time. So it does look a little weird, no lie. But I've got to say, it works. It really does work. Now, it may not work 100% of the time, and there are misses and stuff. It captures the hard hits, it captures the soft hits. It's kind of amazing the amount of expression you can get out of this. The one thing you'll notice, though, when you start playing this thing is that you are the weak link in this chain, honestly. Because when you're playing air drums, you're just air drumming away, it doesn't matter where you're hitting in 3D space. But because you got a camera tracking you, and you have to hit the invisible drums, sometimes you can accidentally miss them. Instead of hitting the cymbal, you might accidentally hit the high tom, or instead of hitting the floor tom, you might accidentally hit the bell of the ride cymbal. It does take a lot of getting used to. You got to practice at being good at hitting these drums. There is a learning curve. Eventually you'll get over it. I'm still hitting the wrong drums quite frequently, but it is what it is. You also have an editor on the drum software that you can actually place the drums all around you wherever you want. There's a real-time readout, so when you're playing like this on your laptop, you can see exactly how your sticks are moving and how your feet are moving. So that is very helpful, but a lot of times you'll end up having your eyes glued on the screen trying to make sure that you're hitting the snare, that you're hitting the hi-hat, that you're hitting the ride cymbal, yada yada yada. Maybe if I played with this for another week, I wouldn't have to rely on the screen as much anymore. But for right now, I kind of rely on the screen a lot, especially for drum fills. Speaking of the drum software, inside of the package is a little business card. On the business card is a code. What you got to do is go to the Aerodrums website and download this software package. It's basically a VST, and it's like a gigabyte. Of course, you can create your own custom drum set out of all of those elements. You can even do like a double kick drum configuration if you want. There's a lot of flexibility. The way it works is you actually just hit where you want the snare to be, and then it pops up right there. And then you hit over here and you want the ride to be there, and suddenly the ride is over there now. That is a nice system. It is a little finicky, especially when you're trying to choose where the hi-hat and kick drum, where you want those to go. But overall, it's nice that they included that. I found out I was terrible at creating a custom drum set like that, so I stuck with the configuration they have already pre-built in the box. You also have a recording function within the drum software, and you can adjust latency as well. The software is easy to use, simple to set up. The real headache's just learning how to play air drums correctly and actually hitting the drums you want to hit. And again, it does get easier over time. The one thing about the drum software though is that it does look a little bit cartoony when you're watching your drumming in real time on the computer. I wish that they'd put a little bit more effort into the graphics on there to make it look like an actual drum set. And the sounds are actually pretty decent, believe it or not. They really are. I was surprised at how good they sounded. Not as good as something like EZdrummer, but you know, it does sound decent. Let me do a playthrough for you here so you can hear how it sounds and see what it looks like. So that's the system. It does work fairly well. The weak link is the user, the person actually playing. It's pretty accurate as far as picking up what you're doing, but it takes time to get used to the thing. The only downside I can see of this camera and light setup right here are the wires. They actually yank this camera around as you're trying to set it up because you kind of have to point it and tilt it just right so you're right in frame. And as you're positioning it, you got to plug in these two USB cords into your laptop, and then it's just the cords make it kind of hard because when you set the camera perfectly and then you lift your hands away, all of a sudden the cords are so heavy that they just yank the camera half an inch to the side, and now your camera's pointing this way. I honestly don't think there's anything you can do about that. What I did once is I actually got a stack of books, and when I got the camera right where I wanted to be, I just put weight on the cords like this so they wouldn't yank around and so the camera would stay still. Now what about the price? Right now on Amazon it's going for about 200 bucks, and of course you have to buy the camera separately. This thing is 200 bucks, and that puts it in a weird position because That's pretty darn expensive. That's only $100 extra, and you could buy an Alesis Nitro. I know I can't compare this to an electronic drum set. This is an entirely different category all by itself. But it just seems a little bit expensive, you know, $200. When I was trying to think of the best people that this might be useful for, a couple of things popped into my mind. This would be a really good novelty present for like Christmas. You know, everyone's giving that person gift cards and bam, you've given him a air drumming system. You kind of have that moment, sort of like when you first played the Wii. Remember that? The Wii system? And you were playing Wii Tennis, Wii Sports and stuff. That's kind of the feeling you get when you play this for the first time. You're like, wow, I can't believe that I'm air drumming and I'm actually hearing sound. There's a lot of novelty with this product. I'm not trying to put the product down. I'm just trying to say when you first start using it, you really have that wow moment. And that's why it would make a good present for people. Also, I'm thinking of maybe a business executive that's always traveling, always on the road. He's always in all these hotels. He's barely ever home to play his actual drum set, and he's got drum fever. He just needs to play drums somehow. Just this, the camera and the reflectors, all this can fit very easily into a backpack. This is a very small system. You can actually play this anywhere. First started testing this product, I was sitting on my bed and then I had the camera over on a nightstand. You don't need to have a drum throne or, you know, a fancy chair or anything. I don't think I could say this is like a serious practice tool. It's more to have fun. That's the way you got to look at this product. It's like a really interesting, fun thing to do. The novelty does start to wear off, but it is a lot of fun. And I actually played it through these PA speakers with the subwoofer, and it sounded really nice. There is one other problem though. If you want to play with headphones so you can practice in complete silence, you'll want a cable extender because, let me demonstrate here. I've got my laptop right here. And if this thing is sitting about 2 to 3 feet away and you have your headphones plugged right into here, you got your laptop there. So it's sort of dangling awkwardly there in front of you as you're like drumming. So if you do want to use this with headphones, maybe buy a cable extender from Amazon, like a 6-foot one. They're really, really cheap, and that way the cable for your headphones won't be just hanging awkwardly in front of you as you're using this product. At the $200 price point, it's not for everybody, but some people will really enjoy using this. Not really the product for me, maybe not the product for you, but it's really interesting and it's in a category all of its own. Thank you so much for watching. I make videos 3 times a week right now. Subscribe to keep on top of the new ones. Press the bell icon to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. And I'll see you guys in a few.